I'm thinking about coming back to church. Now what?
It's a good place to start is what are you actually looking for in a church? We wanted community, we wanted friends, we wanted family members, we wanted people that were there to guide us, to lead us.
I still had so many Sundays where I was like, I'm not coming. I might sit it by myself.
Yeah.
That's too scary. Like, I'm not going to do it.
I think when you find a church that you really feel like you belong, it's like, it does feel like home. You just know.
For someone re-entering, let's get into some kind of helpful things of how we can help people who are in this position.
You don't need to get your life organized and perfect first. People feel like they need to almost get perfect and get right with God before they can step into a church, which is so not the case.
Like, give it a go. What have you got to lose?
The way we usually start the podcast, Em, because Shayne, you've been on. I think you're the first returning guest, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Is Shayne the first returning guest? Special guest?
In the sense that, like, for a second recording, yeah? Because I've had multiple episodes.
For a second recording session.
Yeah, was there a first?
Yeah.
First returning guest, which is pretty cool. And Em's on here for the first time.
Ew.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's very exciting.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I guess we've started. We're recording? We're recording. Just straight into it.
Straight into it.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's good to have you, Em. I think people know Shayne a little bit from previous eps, which is cool. So good to have you back.
Yeah. We would now be friends, I would say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd be friends.
Everyone listening, we're
you've
friends
made more
now.
friends
I
since.
consider you a friend.
Yeah.
You meet me once. That's cool. Second time we're friends now.
You're
Nice.
very friendly.
Yeah.
You're very
Yeah.
friendly.
And Em and Isaac are our youth leaders.
Yeah.
I don't know, youth pastors. I don't know.
Yeah,
What it is.
something.
Just say like that. Why not?
Something like that.
And you guys are amazing. Leading the
thank
youth.
you.
Plus, you do like all the graphics and stuff as well. So
I do. Which
you're
is
a
fun.
multi-talented, skilled person.
To a degree. Yes.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
If people don't know, Shayne also has, you got your own podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Which
got
is,
my own podcast,
which is
yeah.
pumping, which is going
Yeah,
good. It's
it's
kicking
going-
goals.
It's going really well. It's going a bit of traction, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I suppose we speak on a really relevant topic as well, that being the topic of mental health.
And what's the podcast called again if people want to check it out?
It's called Leave a Light On.
Leave a Light On.
podcast, yeah.
Nice.
So check it out on basically whatever you listen to.
For our episode today, we want to talk about like coming back to church. And I'm sure there's people out there that have the question rolling around in their minds. I'm thinking about coming back to church. Now what? You know, like they're on the fence or they're, you know, I mean, so many different people could be in this position. I'm thinking of someone that maybe they grew up in church and they left church for a while and, you know, maybe they probably still believe there's God and stuff like that. I don't know. But maybe they're thinking, man, they've gone to a season of their life where they're, I feel like something's missing. I want to go back to church, but they're not sure how to re-engage. Like it's been so long, or maybe they're in a different city or location and the church that's near them is totally different to the church that they grew up. And so anyone that's in that circumstance, I think we could all probably acknowledge that it'd be pretty freaky or big step
Absolutely.
coming back to church.
For sure.
And I guess my first question is like, have you guys, and I don't know who wants to go first, have you guys ever stepped away from church for a season?
I think Em can start us off. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Start us off,
I feel like
Em.
mine's a bit different. I grew up in church with my family. And it was more that I just went to church because I had to go to church because my family wanted me to go to church. And so when I got older, I was like, I really don't want to be here. Like, I really don't enjoy church.
The typical pastor's kid kind of syndrome. Hey?
Were your parents pastors?
No, they weren't. But they were heavily involved in church.
Yeah. Okay.
But it gets to the point where you need to like adopt your own faith and not just live on your parents' faith. And so we moved because, like, in case you don't know, I grew up in Singapore.
So this was in Singapore?
This was in Singapore,
Church in Singapore?
Yeah. My parents used to say that I could read my book during the message if that meant that I would come to church. My parents must have had so much faith that I would come around. But we moved back to Australia when I was in year 11 and they took me to the Christian school and to a church. And it wasn't until I was like maybe mid year 11 that I had friends that were going to a youth group. And that then was kind of okay, like I'll suss it out. And so then my faith kind of just went from being a thing that I had to do with my family to actually a relationship with God. And so not so much that I walked away, but I grew up not wanting to be at church.
Yeah.
But then discovering my own faith and like realizing who God was and having a relationship with God, that brought me to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was so you were going to church in Singapore,
Yep.
but it wasn't until you come back to Australia
Yeah.
that you were like, no, I'm not going to church for.
It was that age where I could kind of start to do my own thing, that I, had friends and stuff that were doing church and I went along with them and stuff like that. And I was like, actually, there is more to this.
Okay.
And then had a whole, Holy Spirit encounter and all that stuff, which was just incredible.
And then long story short, you're in church, leading
Here I am,
youth, married to Isaac. Yeah, come on.
Church is the best place to be. So, yeah.
You're working here every day.
You would hope so.
Raising your own kid in church.
Yeah, I know.
What about you, Shayne? What's your story? Did you ever leave church? I feel like you had a...
Yes.
I don't exactly know.
So I didn't grow up in the church.
So you didn't grow up in church?
No, didn't grow up in church at all. I started... My parents dragged me along to church when I was about 15. Very reluctantly, wasn't really interested at the time. So yeah, they did that, but I had my own encounter with God when I was 18 and I went to a youth group with a friend. And that's when I fully got committed and got saved, which was a really incredible experience in its own, because I really had no idea what church was like until I really got plugged into the youth group.
Yeah, right.
And I loved the church I was in. But I would say I'd probably been there for about 5 or 6 years at this point. I'd gone to Bible college, I'd studied, I'd been on mission trips, I was a youth leader. So I was pretty plugged into the church at the time. And I remember I went through a bit of a bad patch, not with anything like major, but I was just really struggling with a few things personally and at home. And there was one of the new leaders that had come onto the church staff, one of the pastors, who I didn't really know too much, like I knew of them at the time. But I remember one day they called me in and they had a conversation with me about something that was going on, but just didn't deal with it very well. And though I can speak about this freely because I've had a conversation with this individual as well since then, but just didn't deal with it very well in my mind. Didn't know me personally and kind of was trying to do the right thing, but just didn't go about it the right way. And I felt like I was hard done by in the fact that I had relationships with senior members in the church and senior pastors who I felt would have been better to have the conversation with me at the time, but didn't. And I really did take offense to this. And I think that's probably one of the areas I'd say majority of people who are at church and have walked away would probably be the reason they've walked away.
Yeah, right.
Taking offense at something that a leader said or a pastor said or something like that they just haven't really agreed with, hasn't sit with them well, or maybe they just haven't dealt with it well, and so they've walked away. And so for me, that was the case. Like, I didn't walk away, but I just quietly drifted into the background and eventually just stopped going. Still had a relationship with God, still loved the Lord, but kind of just decided to go on my own little track after that, tried a few different churches after that to see. I wasn't feeling as fulfilled in life as I was when I was going to church.
Yeah.
So that kind of reignited a whole journey of then getting back into church.
Yeah, right.
And it ultimately led with me trying to, I would say, deal with the offense that had happened.
Yep. Did you start going back to the same church that you were offended? Like that you got hurt or you got offended
originally,
at?
like I said, I've tried a few
Some
other
other churches. And then you kind of you hit up a
and I got plugged
conversation.
into a few churches. Like one of the churches that I did go, I got plugged into for a good solid, I would say, year or two. But I just didn't feel like it was home.
Yeah.
I know it's such a cliche thing, but I think when you find a church that you really feel like you belong, it's like, it does feel like home. Like you feel comfortable, you feel like you're not striving, you feel like you just fit in.
Yeah.
Your people that are there are like your family. It's like, you just know. Like there's something in your soul, in your spirit that just says, it's almost like I can just be.
Yeah.
And I kind of didn't have that. And then I ended up to going back to that church.
Oh, yeah. That's
Um,
powerful.
to kind of reignite myself getting into that church. But in that, then I ended up moving
And you moved to Australia.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Either of those stories and versions of those stories, so many people could relate to. Like, and just some of the things you guys are saying, I'm like, oh, there's so many people, even like, maybe they've been away for church for like 10 years. They're probably like, they're relating to that, the thoughts, you know, rattling around in your mind and this stuck or the blockage or, you know, maybe there's a young person listening and they're like, oh, I'm in that spot right now. Like I don't want to be in church and they need to find their own faith. So my first question I want to put out there is like, what do you think are some of the biggest fears that people are facing or feeling about like coming back to church? Like thinking about that person that has been away, maybe they're not been in church for whatever reason, but they're feeling a drawing to coming back. What do you think are some of the biggest fears that people might be feeling?
I mean, it's scary. Like, especially if you're going to a brand new church. Like if you don't know anyone or you don't know how they do things, like it's like when you go to a gym class, you go to anything for the first time. Like it's daunting.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely a fear involved. But I do like there is sometimes like that little bit of fear inside of you is that kind of reminder of like, no, this is what I have planned for you. That like niggling in your spirit kind of comes through as fear sometimes, I think. And you're like, oh, okay, I just gotta go and try it and see it.
Yeah.
But it's so scary because I moved to, so Isaac and I weren't at the same church. So I had to, you know, move to Victory.
Where were you going? Where you were at a different church?
I was at a different church. Yep. And he was very involved and invested in.
Oh, Isaac was locked in. He's been
he was locked in.
From day dot.
I mean, he was a beautiful husband and was like, if you don't feel like this is your space, we can explore that.
Yeah. Which is a whole nother podcast episode,
I know,
right? Yeah, for couples.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
But so I had to, you know, do the journey of coming into this new church.
Yeah.
And, you know, luckily it was a bit easier because I had Isaac and his family and I knew people here.
Yeah.
But I still had so many Sundays where I was like, oh, he's serving and his family's away.
Yeah.
I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sitting, I might sit it by myself.
Yeah.
That's too scary. Like I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So it's really scary.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have known firsthand a little bit. I mean, a little bit different. You're already going to church. So but still it's that new environment, right?
Yeah.
Now, personal question. Do you do reformer Pilates?
I do reformer Pilates.
So I when you're saying like it's fearful going back to a place where you're not sure what anything, I could imagine it's similar to like say if you go to do reformer Pilates for the first time.
Absolutely.
And you're walking, there's all these like weird machines.
Yeah. And
yeah,
like,
I can speak into that one as well, actually.
The bed moves. Like the beds move. Like I could fall on my face. Like I've seen someone fall off a reformer bed and it's embarrassing. And yeah, same thing. Like you just gotta.
Yeah, like people are probably thinking, what if I don't do the right thing?
Yeah.
Or like I say the wrong thing or do, you know, all these things are probably rattling around in people's minds.
Yeah,
hey?
which is not helpful.
What do you think, Shayne, is probably like another big fear that someone's probably...
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, I think the personal one there's this fear of judgment coming back to church.
Yeah.
Like, what are people going to think seeing me again? You know, or, you know, he was a well-established person in the church and now he's kind of fallen away and now he's coming back. Like, what's the judgment going to be behind that? What are people going to say and think? You know, and I think a lot of the time that's a case for anything that we go through. You know, we always have this opinion that people are looking and judging us and we have to be this perfect role model towards either Christianity or as a parent or whatever it is. But ultimately, everyone is going through something.
Yeah.
You know, everyone is dealing with their own struggles, and there's this misconception of the church being perfect. But I think it's just a place where broken people come to meet someone who is perfect, and that being Jesus Christ. Not because of judgment, but to gain this model of understanding and grace. And I think that's what people misperceive that, I think.
Yeah.
You know, we're not perfect. No pastor out there is perfect. No leader in church is perfect. No Christian is perfect.
No.
And so we need to get rid of that opinion that people are looking and judging us, because I think people are so preoccupied with themselves sometimes that they actually got their own stuff that they're dealing with.
Everyone's dealing with their own
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But I
remember-
think it's a big thing.
It's probably one of the massive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone thinks, I guess, you went back to the same church that you left from, like you're saying. You would feel like everyone's like, you walk through the gate or you walk through the door, like you feel like everyone's looking at you, thinking about you.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, I'm not a small dude either. I'm 6'4", so China hard for me is incredibly difficult.
Shane's back.
Yeah,
he's back.
so it's tough. It's tough to kind of walk through that,
Massive.
but I think once you realize that everyone's just dealing with their own things in church, and you've got like-minded people that are going through the same, if not very similar, struggles as you are. And it's just a case of you being open and honest in a place where, you can receive guidance and love and support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a teacher, back in high school, I don't know why I remember this, but like someone
Stuck with you.
like in high school, you're always like making sure you're dressed right and like, you got the right look. You're so concerned with how you're perceived, right? When you're younger and a teenager. But I remember this teacher talking about it. He's like, you know how you're so concerned about yourself right now? Everyone else is just as concerned about themselves. They're not paying attention to you. Like, they're not thinking about you as much as you think that they are. And I don't know, that's always stuck with me. But
It's true.
it doesn't make it any less difficult for someone coming back to church, I guess, that fear. Is there anything else? I guess it's just fear of the unknown and fear of people like potentially judging them. And
and I think maybe the other thing would probably, I would say for a lot of people, it's when they walk away, it's because they've got maybe issues that they've been dealing with and they haven't dealt with it. And when they come back, it's now you obviously got to rehash these issues that you kind of thought maybe you could suppress over that period you were away.
yeah.
And so now you've got to bring them up so that you can actually deal with them again. So for a lot of people, it's facing fears. It's facing, like you were saying, facing those issues that they've struggled with for so long again, after maybe suppressing it.
For someone re-entering, let's get into maybe some kind of helpful things of how we can help people who are in this position, feeling these feelings. What are some tips that we can give them maybe to help them re-enter well, I guess. So maybe someone is like, maybe we'll just start with someone who's like considering it, but they're like, oh, I'm not ready to I'm not ready to drive there on a Sunday yet. Is there something they can start to do maybe before they even step back into church or something like that? Like how can they re-enter well maybe?
Yeah. If there's online church, that's always handy.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I'm in the social media age, so like anywhere I go, I will look them up on social media first and be
most
like,
people do now, right?
Yeah, surely. But I'll, suss a church out on social media, YouTube.
Yeah, maybe they're still choosing a
podcasts.
church, so they're just
True. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So
just suss out some places.
Spaces out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe start a folder on the Instagram and just start saving some
Saving
churches that are around and sussing them out.
That was
It's a
something
good
that
first step.
my wife and I did, is we decided to write down what are we looking for in a church.
Yep.
It's a great idea.
So we knew when we were going to a church, like this is what we are wanting out of the experience of being in church, We wanted community, we wanted friends, we wanted family members, we wanted people that were there to guide us, to lead us. We wanted good teaching, we wanted, all these things, worship, whatever that was. So for us, it was, what are we looking for? Because it's all well and good going to a church and just saying, oh, we're looking for a place we feel comfortable. But what does that entail? Like, what makes you comfortable so that you know what you're looking for? So I would say that's a good place to start, is what are you actually looking for in a church?
Yep.
And then it helps you narrow down when you do go to a church and go, oh, I really like this aspect. You might not find everything that you're looking for. No church is perfect, but majority of the time, most people will find 80%, 90% of what they're looking for in a church.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a helpful thing, is to say, what are we looking for in a church?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Maybe even take maybe this person maybe this person's thinking about re-engaging with church, but it's been a while since they re-engaged with God.
Yeah.
Like, how can someone just start that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because church is church.
Yeah.
But without relationship.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You'll talk about like church and relationship, religion versus relationship. I guess you might have been away from church for a long time, and it's not necessarily just church maybe that you're missing reconnecting with. It could be just that you
Yeah.
haven't connected with God for a long time.
I think as well it's hard because people feel like they need to almost get perfect and get right with God
Yeah.
before they can step into a church, or they're like, I need to sort myself out,
Tidy my life up.
before I can come to God, which is so not the case. I mean, I'm kind of like an all or nothing person. So
Yeah.
it's like, just like go all in, even while you're still figuring things out.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to figure things out with God than to figure things out without God and then to try and bring him in.
Mm.
Yeah, don't try and dress yourself. Like, God doesn't
Yeah.
want you to dress yourself up for him.
Yes, yeah.
Would you say connecting with a friend, like a friend or a small group? Like a lot of people think about come back to church, to come back to a service, but there's like connect groups and everything. You know,
Yeah.
maybe you got a friend. Do you think that's a good idea for someone or would be helpful?
Absolutely. I feel like that helped me engage again. Having a friend. And I feel like if any of my friends who, aren't currently walking with the Lord or at church were to message me and be like, hey, I'm interested in church, I would be so excited.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely is helpful having someone to walk in with you for that first Sunday, or having someone to pray with you, or having someone to ask a question about what does church look like, or what does faith look like, is really helpful. Definitely.
Big time. I mean, most of this is relationship, like
Yeah.
it's I guess that's how we hear or value and perceive churches. It's not like a show that we're coming to.
No.
I mean, obviously there's a service, but it's more than that. It's a community of people,
Yeah.
journeying together in a way. Do you think, how for you, Shayne, when you guys were connecting or finding a church, what were some of the first steps that you guys did? Like you said, you wrote your lists. Did you connect with some people beforehand?
We wrote our list, obviously, what we were looking for when it came to this experience of finding a church and getting back into it. I think for us, it was don't be afraid to try churches out. Like no church is going to be bummed for you going and experiencing a service.
Yeah.
I think we went to 3 or 4 different churches before we came to Victory.
Yeah.
It's not a problem to go and try a church out, see if it fits. You'll never know whether you truly fit into it unless you experience it. Head knowledge and experience are 2 very different things. So otherwise the list is just a list.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a comparison.
A test drive a church.
Test drive a church.
Basically.
It sounds wrong saying that, but really, you're right. You can only test out and try a church.
Yeah, we didn't have any friends at the time that was in church, so we didn't have that opportunity to connect with a friend per se. So for us, it was trial and error. So I think that's a real key thing is that, and you know what, it's like anything in life. The first church or the first experience might not be the best suited for you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you have to stay there. Like try one that eventually does feel like it does suit. Because I can honestly say, we went to some great churches before we arrived at Victory. Like there was nothing wrong with them, but they just weren't for us. There's so many like differences in churches, like little different characteristics or, things that just make it feel like home.
Yep.
It's like your home. Every home is different.
I think it takes time. I think people put the pressure on themselves too that it's going to like the first one they check out or they get, sometimes could take 6 months to a year to really kind of find a home. Like, I've never had to really do that most of my life, but I could imagine like if you are moving or you are coming back, like it's I'd say take your time, right? Like it can be a pretty, don't expect it to happen over a weekend necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I would say probably the key thing for us is find someone in the church that you can relate to, that you really can connect with and relate to and have real conversations with you're going to get a good feel for the church. Like I know you were actually one of the first people that I connected with when I came to Victory. And that for me was a real key moment because you hold a lot of the core values of what the church entails, being a pastor on the staff and things like that. But it gave me a real sense of what I was, going to dedicate my time to, because that's what you end up to. You dedicate a lot of your time to church, not because of duty or anything, but because it actually becomes a place that you enjoy being.
Yeah.
So I got a real sense of what it was about from hanging out with you.
Yeah, okay.
and you know, just having a coffee or, you know, talking to you after church or whatever it was. But find someone, I think, is probably I would say is find someone in the church that you do just go try to have a chat, have a conversation, and a real conversation.
I'd say what impressed me with you is you're really proactive about that. So like a lot of people might not be as proactive as you, like, but I'd encourage people like any pastors or leaders in church, like we're a leader in church, we're pastors, we're serving in church because we love people.
Yeah.
We're like, we want to see, their whole heart is to see people flourish and like see God's plans and purposes just explode in their lives. And so don't think that you're bothering. I'd say don't think that you're bothering a pastor or a leader or something if you're asking them, hey, could we catch up for coffee or something? You know, that could be a big ask for someone. That's pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
As in it could be scary for them to ask a pastor. And I'd say that pastor will be stoked that you're asking them to go grab a coffee. Because like when you said, let's grab a coffee, I was like, absolutely. That'd be great. I'd love to. Like, I'm like, I want to know your story. Like, I want to know how we can help you. And that's all, you know, in my experience. Like, if it's a healthy church, that's how pastors, that's the whole reason they're doing what they're doing. So don't be scared to ask them for a coffee or a chat.
And like, don't be scared to accept the offer. Like, I think so many people step into a church and will get invited to a lunch or like, let me shout you a coffee and let's chat. And you go to like, I don't want to be a burden. Like, I don't want to put you out.
Yeah.
It's like, you're really not. Like, accept that offer.
Yeah.
Because they really actually want to connect with you. And like, it's an awesome opportunity. Like, take the step and engage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you reckon some people's fears might be like, I'm going to have a coffee or I'm going to come to that welcome lunch and then all of a sudden they're going to be peppering me with questions and like trying to put me on a team and oh my gosh. And like I'd say to people, just take it slow too. Like if you're going to connect back in, like you don't have to don't feel pressure to do all that stuff. Just chill, take your time. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Imagine someone's coming back. Like, I'm going to pretend I'm the person. I'm going to be the person coming back. All right. And you guys are my friends. And, let's not pretend. You guys are my friends.
I'll pretend to be your friend.
I was like, okay, we can pretend.
We can pretend.
And so I'm like, I'm coming to a service, guys. Like, and there's a big deal for me. Like, it's a massive deal. Like, I'm worried about like being peppered by the welcome team and like asking for my contact detail. Like, what are some tips? Like, how can my first experience I need some tips, guys. How can I not be overwhelmed by coming back? Like I'm driving there, but if I get it, I don't know if I'm getting out the car. Like, you know, give me some tips. Help me here.
I feel like I'm a very like act confident and no one will question you person. So like you just go in and
just
like
boss on in,
confidently walk in, have a seat, like, oh, hey, how you going? And take a seat, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that approach. If you're can be a bit more of a confident person, just like you have every right to be there. Like, go in and suss it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a good, just be confident.
Yeah. I think the age-old one is just get there 5-10 minutes late into the service.
Yes.
You know? As soon as the service starts, everyone goes in. You could sneak in the back door and, you know, sit in the back row if you want and then get a feel from it without feeling like everyone's peppering in. If you want to leave 5 minutes early, then bug out the door 5 minutes early.
Absolutely. It's like the ninja move.
Yeah. I call it the Casper move. Yeah. Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Big time. I mean, I see people do it, like as a pastor, but I know why they're doing it, or like the service is wrapping up, and they're like, you see them like, boom, they're out to the car, out the back door, and you feel like chasing after them, going, hey, how? I'm like, no, they're doing that on purpose. Like, you know, it's cool. Just let them go. They're just warming up.
The other one is also come on like a big occasion, like Easter or Christmas.
Yeah,
because there's heaps of new people.
That's true.
Yeah. And it's generally an occasion where people that don't often come to church come to church.
Yep.
So you kind of get lost in the crowd if that's what you're looking to do, and experience it a bit more where you're not going to have so many people like surround you.
Yep.
So that could be a good one.
That's a really good tip, actually. Yeah.
Join the CEO Christians.
The CEO Christians?
Christmas, Easter only.
Yes. I love it. All right. One thing to wrap up. What's the one thing you'd want someone to hear if they were thinking about coming back?
Dive in. Like, that's the best way I can honestly say. Because you know what? if you're all in, people around you are all in as well. Like you said the same thing to me. You're like, I'm a proactive guy. How many times have you invited me for coffee after I made that initial move? All it took was you seeing that initiative from me. It's just like, give it a go. What have you got to lose? Like, honestly, what have you got to lose?
Absolutely.
Yeah, dive in.
Just dive in.
What's to lose? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to go back if it all turns out pear-shaped.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? How many other churches are there that you can go try? It's not the right one.
Eventually you'll run out.
You might run out. Might have to change denominations. It's
There's so many public pools that you can go dive into.
It's like, oh, I've tried all the Pentecostal churches. I'm going to the.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any other denomination. I'll get in trouble. And what's one thing you'd want someone to hear?
I feel like coming back to you don't need to get right with. You don't need to get your life organized and perfect first.
Yeah.
Do the journey with God. Learn how to speak to Him. Learn how to pray. Read your Bible. Just embrace God for who He is, and know that He loves you.
Yeah.
And use that to enter in.
That's really good. Yeah. Connect with connecting relationally with God.
Yeah.
It's really important. So that's good. Yeah, it's been good talking about this with you guys. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Thanks for being on for the first time. Man.
Thank you.
You're a natural. It's like you've been doing this all the time.
I like to chat,
it was great to hear your stories and just some tips for people who are thinking of entering back into church world.
Yeah.
And I hope that was really helpful. I'm sure it was really helpful. So thanks for being with us, guys.
No, thank you for having me.
Anytime.
It's always weird to finish because you're like,
it's like a phone call. Bye.
Yeah.
but you're still on the phone.
I'm gonna say
because we're in the room.
It's
this
like
next episode,
a Zoom call when you're like trying to find the end button and you're like, see ya.
This next episode, I'm gonna say, love you, bye.
Yeah, but we're still here in the room, so it's like I feel like the urge, but thanks for being with us. Catch you guys later.
Shut down.
I need an ending.